Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, happy Wednesday, and happy hump day. Welcome to another edition of Wealthy and Wise Wednesdays, where I share a few words of financial wisdom to help put you back in the driver's seat of your financial future. This week, I want to talk about procrastination and this epidemic of analysis paralysis that leads into procrastination. As many of you know, I am an educator at heart. And so one of the things that I'm very fond of doing is educating people on different financial and retirement concepts. Recently, I worked with an educational company to help promote an online seminar or a webinar, if you will. And it was called Financial Strategies in Planning for Retirement in the Post-Pandemic Era. In the days following this webinar, I had many wonderful conversations, and it looks like I'll be able to help several people accomplish that next financial goal that they have in mind. But one of the alarming things that I've seen coming out of this experience, and I wanted to share it with you, is the number of people who are frozen from taking any action. So what do I mean by that? Well, I've spoken with several people who attended this webinar, and I've heard over and over that they're just gathering information. They've attended multiple webinars here in the last year or two. Some of them even have a person in their life that they would consider to be their current advisor. So what I'm hearing is this. Number one, they have an advisor, but maybe they don't have a good enough relationship with that person, or they don't trust that person enough to where they're out trying to gather additional information. Number two, they've gathered plenty of information at this point. Many people have said that they've attended multiple webinars and seminars back before the COVID era kind of shut that stuff down. Number three, they're reviewing the information while they're gathering even more. And number four, they haven't yet taken any action on any of the information that they have gathered or analyzed. Look, learning and educating yourself is a great thing to do. So I don't mean to sound condescending in any way, shape, or form. What I'm getting at is that this can go too far. This is creative avoidance. People tell themselves that they're gathering information because subconsciously they're trying to put off taking any action step. That happens a lot. Sometimes people are scared of making a mistake, and I get that, right? So I'm not saying don't learn, don't educate yourself. But what I am saying is that it can go too far. And I do appreciate when people shop around for their financial advisor. You guys, it is so important to work with somebody who you connect with, whose message resonates with you, that you have the same investment strategies and philosophies, and just somebody that you feel comfortable with, right? I mean, you're making lifelong decisions handing your money over to them. I get all that, right? But what I'm saying is attending 5 webinars or 10 seminars, trying to gather information before you actually do anything, look, it's just going too far, okay? Here's why gathering information or too much of it can potentially be very harmful to your future. Number one, the average consumer, they have all the information they could ever possibly need right at their fingertips. Give somebody a tablet and give them 20 minutes and they can research any product, any program, any strategy and find out plenty of information about it, okay? Now, number two, once that information is gathered, the average consumer doesn't even know what it means or whether it's a good fit for their personal situation, whether it's congruent with their philosophy or with their goals. Thirdly, even if they're able to determine that it does fit their goals, they don't necessarily know how to apply the strategy correctly. And then when somebody isn't comfortable, when they're not confident, you know what they don't do? They don't end up taking action. They don't take action. They get bogged down with details. They get confused. They delay. They procrastinate. And they're busy. Life happens. Life gets in the way. So they don't do anything. And then very, very quickly, a year can pass, 2 years, 3 years. And you know what happens? They miss out. They miss out on potential savings opportunities, investment gains, compound interest, Or maybe the cost of that insurance policy they need to buy goes up because they're older, because now they have health issues. When they finally do take action, and maybe it's 3 years down the road, you know what happens? And this is bad news. Don't kill me. I'm just the messenger. But look, we're facing the brutal reality here. So you know what happens? They likely have to pay more, save more, invest more to potentially get much less in the long run. So as a financial consultant, my job isn't just to educate. My job is to motivate. I'm here to help people. I'm working on your behalf, and I'm here to help you take positive action. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to be able to sit down in one meeting and lay out a plan where you're going to be able to take action on every single element of that plan right now. Life usually doesn't work that way. Neither does financial planning. But you know what works really well? If we can identify the top priority, that one action step, and work on taking that action step. And once that goal is accomplished, then we work on taking that next action step, the priority number 2, and we get some positive momentum going, and it snowballs. And before you know it, 2 or 3 years have passed, and you have your insurance program in place. You have the proper savings in the foundation. You've begun to invest for the long term. You're setting yourself up for a wonderful financial future. Why? Because instead of getting bogged down with all of that information, you had a good, decent amount of knowledge, and more importantly, you enlisted the professional assistance of somebody that you trusted, who you had a good relationship with, who was able to help you identify where you need to go and what's the best way for you to accomplish the goals that you have. So, in conclusion, sure, do a little bit of research. Shop around if you must, but for your own sake, please consider whether you're putting decisions off because you're gathering information and getting bogged down in this analysis paralysis cycle. Find yourself a competent financial consultant that you feel comfortable with and enlist their assistance to take positive action steps. Your family and your future self will thank you. If you'd like to enlist my help, you can get a hold of me at 248-241-6826 or contact me through my website at snellerfinancial.com. And as always, I love communicating with you all on social media, so please put your thoughts in the comments section below. Well, that's my rant. Thanks for listening.